have seen the SQL query, how the SQL query syntax will be there, and how to query what's based on different filters, order by group by kind, some other things like that, right? So today we can see how to use those SQL queries using Apex classes. Let's say if you want to run some aggregate functions, count minimum, maximum of some fields on the object. How to do this one? Let's say I need to find number of records from the student object. You can count of id from student double underscore c. You execute this, it will give how many records we have on the student object. You can give some alias and count id as student count. If you use student count, okay, fine. So this is number of students. Let's say if you want to get sum, you can use same way. However you are doing on the roll up some other fields, same way you can do this. So it's saying total fee. So see total you can use, or let's say you want to get minimum fee in the total fees 3000. If you want to get the maximum fee, you can use maximum. Okay, so this is how you can use the SQL queries to get the minimum, maximum, and sum of some fields, number fields or currency fields. You can use this one. Hope you don't have any questions on this. Next. So let's say if you have some query, let's say I have a requirement to deactivate all students. Okay, let me open student object, then status. Need is I need to change all users status to something inactive or something. Okay, then how can do it? So we can do either in through the import widgets or data loader or through the workbench. But if I want to do from the Apex, how to do this? So what you can do is first get all the records first, right? In list, so we have already explained that. I have already explained you can perform DML operations on a single S object record or list of records, right? Only on single S object record or list of records only you can perform the DML operations like insert, update, delete, or undelete, whatever it is. Okay. Now, how can we get all the records into a list? Okay. How can you get all the records into a list. So while explaining list methods, list that's in Salesforce, not sure whether you guys have looked into this or not. So we have one constructor, or what you can do is, say this, list, you can pass list of records to the this list, or you can use add all as well, right? Two methods we have. So one thing is SQL query returns always list of records. It returns list of records only, even though if it is one record is there, that will be returned in a list. Apex always list. Okay. So list of what type of object we are trying to query. Student object we are trying to get. Student levels for C. I'm giving stds equals to. So SQL query, if you write inside the query editor, you have to write like this one. Query is same. Then how to use in the this one backslash or apex code inside the square brackets. So that you understand, inside the square brackets, you can write like this. Simple. You can write like this. Then what happens if you write like this? What happens is when this is executed, select ID, name, student, status from student object. Then with these fields, that will be queried all the records, and those records will be uh, added into this STDS list. Okay, so what this actually does, so usually when you want to create a new list student, the data type you have to give, then new student, new list of student, right? That's what you have to do. But even if you don't give here, it won't give any problem. But if there are no records while returning, let's say I'm giving where state underscore C equals to something X, Y, Z. With that X, Y, Z, we do not have any SQL query, sorry, any records, right? In that case, when you execute, it will be executed and the records will not be returned anything. Okay? Sometimes what happens is, if you use that list, let's say if stds dot size, okay? Let's say if I want to check the size, okay? Now I'm giving system dot of size greater than 0. This is not like this. When you are trying to like do like this, it throws some kind of error. It's not doing. But in Apex triggers and somewhere, better to do that before before writing the query to get the records. Declare the list first, like list equals to new list of, then see, this is what how to create the list, right? First list type, then the object name equals to new list of type. This is the constructor. So in our list constructors, you have something like, you can pass the list also to create the records. Here what I'm trying to, we know that SQL query, you can use like this also, stds dot all, or let's say stds equals to triple. Now what happens? This SQL query becomes first list will be created. After that, the records will be queried using this SQL query and will be stored into the STDS list. Okay. So instead of that, directly you can pass here. SQL query can be passed here. There is a constructor. Inside the constructor, you can pass list of records also, right? So here you don't need this one. This is the best way of writing the SQL query to avoid the null pointer exceptions. Okay. Sometimes if you give STDS, there will be no records, so it will throw some kind of error. Okay. So to avoid that, better to use this one. Okay. Now you have list, right? So you know the, okay, first, now what we need to do is from 0 to n minus 1 means if there are 10 records, then what will be the maximum number of size? So maximum number of index in list, 10 minus 1 means 9. Okay. For, I'm going to go into integer I equals to 0. Okay. Then I have to I less than I greater than to 0. Okay. Let's say or I less than. So what I'm going to do is directly I give size. Let's say if I have 10 records, I'll give less than 10. Means till 9 only it will be executed, right? I plus plus. Okay. But here we are not sure how many records we have in the list, right? To get the number of records in the list, you have one method called size. See, size is one method to get all the number of records in the this one, right? So what you can do is size equals to stds dot size. Okay, till size you have to execute, right? Means if it is 6 fifth only, here you can give this one, right? So means if there are 10 records, as you are not giving equals, right? So equals is not given, then it will be executed size minus 1, whatever the number we have given in this size, then minus 1, till that only it will be executed. So instead of getting the size outside and giving into the for loop, I'm giving directly std dot size. Then what it does, it removes one line of code. Okay. So what to do and how to do this one. Now, know this, for STD, you need to get each and every record, right? First thing, student, underscore C, ST equals to the first record from the students. Our requirement is to make all student status to something what we have. This is the status, right? Doing active content approved. Say I want to change to approved. Okay, all student status to approved. Okay, now I'm getting first record. You guys have already seen how to get the first one of I. Means this for loop will be keep on executing from 0 to number of records minus 1 times. Then first record, second record, third record, fourth record will be keep on. Then what we are trying to do? Yes, state status double underscore C equals to approved. Okay. So then even if you give here update ST, that can be worked, but you should not write DML operations inside the for loop. Should not write. That is wrong. Okay. If you write this update ST, that also can work. But when you execute this, observe the debug clock. How many DMLs are conserved? You observe, sorry, scroll down, number of DML state. So here we have given XYZ, right? This should be removed because there are no records with XYZ status. We have 10 records, 10 DML operations will be executed because for each and every for loop, once it is executed, that will be keep on running. See here, see, 10 records are there, 10 out of 150 DMLs are there. See, if you have 500 records to be updated, if you have this inside, if you do this update ST, then it will execute up to 150 and throw the error because it is exceeding 150 DMLs. Okay, so should not write anything inside this one. Inside for loop should not write DML operations. So what you can do is you can use update stds. Okay, so once you are sure about setting all the values to the records using for loop, then you can directly use this. So we can say the record student process build key. So that is why are getting overridden with flows. Execute. How many DMLs are used? Only one DML. Okay, that's how you have to write SOQL, the DML operations. How do you have to use them? Okay, so this is one thing. And here, the same line, what I'm trying to do is writing like this, right? If you want, you can write in the same way. So what is trying? stds dot get of I, right? This line can be written using get method also. You can do it. Or directly what you can do is instead of this brackets std of like this also we can write. Just execute this. it won't give any error. This will be executed. Okay. And so here, what it is trying, how to reduce the number of lines. Okay. So how to execute, how to reduce the number of lines. This is the basic way of getting the record. Here, what you are trying to do, you are getting the student record separately and student record status you are trying to set to this one. So if comment out this, I have these lines. What I'm trying to do is first I'm getting the student, then setting the status. Okay. So why we have written this line? We need this one. ST is required. So ST, what is ST? ST is student record getting from here. STD is no file. Is there any issue or any problem if I write like this and remove this line? There's no issue because they are directly adding the status value to this one. Okay, this is how you can reduce the number of lines. It also doesn't give any issue on this one. Okay, so any questions on this? Just write down this simple program how to write this and write down however you can understand. So write this line. This is a basic way, and this is the second way of getting the record and setting the values. This is the advanced way of setting the values. Write down this. Pause the recording, please. I need to change the size, or let's say we have on the requirement to make the student fee, total fee. I need to make it for each and every student. I want to change the total fee to some 5,000. Okay. So what I have to do, usually we have STDS of ID dot total fee per seat equals to plus 5,000, right? So what we have to do is students fee first we need to give existing fee plus 5,000. Okay, so 5,000. Then this will be executed. So for each and every one, how to access or how to set values by using this. Okay, execute this. Try this. What is giving the error? SO S
In
object row was
the query we
retrieved by
don't have
SQL.
in the query we don't have this field. Fields we are not retrieving.
Wait, Sati. I'm explaining, please. Wait. I have written the query like that only because to explain this exception. Okay.
Okay,
So a
understood.
subject row was retrieved by SQL without querying the request field. What it is? Total fee means whatever the field you are using at line number 10, it is saying at line number 10. Okay? Line number 10, that field was not retrieved. Row was retrieved by us without querying the requested field. What is the requested field? Total fee. So this total fee field is not querying in the SQL. Means this field is not added at this one. That is the error. Okay. When you see that kind of error, you have to understand that that field is not in the SQL file. To explain that only, I have written this one. It's not an error. Then this will be there. So now see this. There is another exception. Null pointer exception. Attempt to dereference a null object. Means what it is trying. So let's say for student fees. Okay, let me debug here. Be careful. These are all coding techniques. Okay, how to identify. Let's say if you don't use this field in the SQL and but you are using inside the for loop, what kind of error it will be. Then again, if the value is null and it is trying to do something, this one, then what will be thrown? Like if you see, execute, just execute, is throwing the error, right? Like, okay, we'll ask. Now, if you see, first, it will be an error. So this value will be null. Total P is not set to at least 0. Then it will be throwing the error. Okay. Now here, when I was explaining, I would have given some kind of ternary operator. What is a ternary operator? Okay. So ternary operator is this one. These two are called as ternary operator. Usually, what this ternary operator? This is a replacement for if else. If condition, then execute something else. This is what our syntax is there, right? So let me check. First, what I'm trying to do is when I'm setting some value, student fee equals to null means if it is null, set the student fee to 5,000. To 5,000 because null means 0. 0 plus 5,000, 5,000. Else, student fee equals to, if it is not null, then add to the existing fee. Right? Simple, right? So only if it is null, you have to do like this now. Simple. If it is null, set the value to 5,000. It won't throw any error. Try this. It won't give any error. So this is one way of avoiding the null pointer exception when you are reading some field values. And then another value is, another way is the same if else conditions. What you can do is here what we need, student fee is required equals to, what is if condition? This is the condition, right? If it is null, then what will be the value? 5,000. Else, you have to set the value and assign to student. If else condition only, you are writing to the ternary operator. Okay, so are you guys clear on this? Any doubt on this? This is condition. Okay, what it is, if condition is true, then this is the value it will be assigned to this one. If condition is false, this is else spot will be executed. Okay, so ternary operator equals to variable equals to condition true. true statement, false statement. Semicolon. That's it. Okay. Whatever the value you can use like this one. Condition. If condition is true, true statement will be executed. If it is false, false statement will be executed. Okay. There is another. I'll tell you that later. There is some advanced also that I'll explain you later. So now I hope you guys understand this one. Just note down and write this. You guys have already noted down this. In this. So how to handle the null pointer exception inside the code. Okay. So this is the basic way. One way you have to write if it is null, what to do. If it is not null, what to do. And another one, this is another way.